You see one ant on the trunk in the morning. Just one dot by afternoon. There are more of them. Moving in a line, they climb the bark, disappear under the leaves, and come back down like they know exactly where they are going. Then you notice the real damaged dot. A new leaf is curled. A soft shoot feels sticky. Tiny insects are hiding underneath the leaves, and your fruit tree, the one you watered and waited on, is starting to look like it belongs to something else. Most people grab a spray bottle first. That feels right, because the damage is on the leaves. But very often, that is the wrong end of the problem. If insects are still climbing from the ground, up the trunk, and into the canopy, then spraying the leaves only fights what you can see. The road is still open, and as long as the road is open, the problem can come back. So, today, do not spray first. Build the barriers first. There are 3 cheap ways to do it. One uses an old cloth, a plastic bottle, and a little used cooking oil. The second uses a dry ring around the base of the plant, and the third is for the moment when pests have already reached the leaves, young shoots, or soft new growth. This is not complicated. It is not expensive, and it does not require turning your backyard into a chemical shelf. You are not just fighting insects. You are closing the road they use to reach your fruit tree. The first barrier goes on. This is the oil band trap, one of the simplest ways to stop ants and other crawling insects from climbing into a tree. You need a clean, dry cloth, a plastic bottle, a zip tie or wire, and something slippery. Use cooking oil works. Olive oil works. Petroleum jelly or grease can work. The exact material matters less than the surface it creates. The insect needs grip. The barrier takes that grip away. Start with the cloth. A piece around 16 inches wide and 12 inches tall is a good starting point, but adjust it to the trunk in front of you. Fold the cloth several times until it becomes a band about 2 inches wide. That band creates a soft base between the tree and the plastic, so the plastic does not scrape directly against the bark. Wrap the cloth around the trunk about 12 inches above. Day soil line not too high, not too low. You want it high enough that soil and mulch do not cover it, but low enough that crawling insects meet it before they reach the branches. Fix the cloth in place with wire or a zip tie. It should be snug, but not cruel. A young tree is still growing. If you choke the trunk, you solve one problem and create a worse one. Now take a plastic bottle. Cut a strip from the flatter middle section, about 4 inches wide. Cut it vertically so it opens like a collar. Wrap it around the cloth band, with the plastic sitting outside the cloth to create a smooth outer surface. Fix it again with wire, string, or a zip tie. Now, apply oil, grease, or petroleum jelly to the inner surface of the plastic barrier. You are not trying to poison the insect. You are creating a slick, sticky zone that it cannot cross easily. When ants or other crawling insects reach that band, the normal route ends. They cannot grip the surface the same way. Many turn around. Some get stuck. The line breaks. That is the point. You are not chasing every insect in the garden. You are making the trunk hard to climb, but this shrub has one weakness, and it is the mistake that ruins the whole thing. A bridge. One blade of grass touching above the barrier can become a bridge. One low branch touching the ground can become a bridge. One weed leaning against the trunk can become a bridge. If an insect can step over the barrier without touching it, the trap is no longer a trap, so after you build it, step back and look at the whole tree. Are there weeds touching the trunk? Is there a branch hanging low? Is mulch piled so high that insects can avoid the barrier? Clear those contact points. A barrier is only as strong as the root it removes. Once a week, check the band. Rain, dust, wind, bark, flakes, and sun can all weaken the slippery layer. If the oil dries out, reapply it. If dust covers the surface, wipe and refresh it. If the tie is too tight, loosen it. This first method is powerful because it changes the battle. You stop treating the leaves as the only problem. You protect the trunk as the road. But a fruit tree does not only have a trunk, it also has a base. And if insects are gathering around the pot, soil, mulch, or lower stem, you need a second barrier. The dry ring. For this, you use diatomaceous earth. To us, it looks like a pale powder. To many small, crawling insects, when it is dry, it is a very different surface. Diatomaceous earth does not work like a normal spray. Its strength is physical. When crawling insects crossed it, the powder can stick to their bodies. At a microscopic level, it can damage their outer protective layer. That causes them to lose moisture, and moisture is life for a tiny insect. So the goal is simple. Make a dry ring the insect has to cross before it reaches the trunk. Take a small handful and spread it around the base of the tree, around the pot, or around the area where insects are entering. Do not scatter it randomly. Build a continuous ring. No gaps, no shortcuts, no open side. If the tree is in a pot, ring the base or the outside edge where insects travel. If it is planted in the ground, create the ring around the trunk area, wide enough that insects cannot simply step over it. This is your second wall. The oil band protects the trunk. The dry ring protects the ground. But here is the rule that matters most. Diatomaceous earth works best when it is dry. If rain beats it down, it clumps. If irrigation washes it into the soil, insects may cross without the same effect. If you soak it every morning, you turn your dry barrier into paste. A dry barrier cannot work if you keep turning it into mud, so place it where it can stay dry as long as possible. Reapply. After heavy rain, check it after watering. If the ring has disappeared, clumped, or mixed into the soil, refresh it. Use common sense when you apply it. Do not throw fine dust into the wind. Avoid breathing it in. Do not dust open flowers where bees and helpful insects are working. Use the dry ring as a root barrier, not as a magic powder. Now you have two barriers. One on the trunk, one around the base. That is enough to stop many insects before they reach the fruit tree. But what if they are already there? What if the leaves are already curled? What if aphids are sitting on the tender new growth? What if tiny pests are hiding underneath? That is when the third method matters. The first two methods stop the next wave. The third method deals with the insects already on the plant. For this, you use the same diatomaceous earth, but in a different way. Mix 1 tablespoon of earth into 1 liter of water. Stir it well. You want the powder suspended through the water, not sitting in one clump at the bottom. Once it is mixed, pour it into a sprayer. Now look closely at the plant. Do not just spray the outside and walk away. Pests hide where the plant is softest. Check the underside of leaves, curled leaves, young shoots, and the place where ants seem most interested. That is where you spray. Mist the affected areas so the mixture reaches the insects and the surfaces where they are feeding. You do not need to drown the plant. You need contact. This next part matters. When the leaves are still wet, you may see almost nothing happen. That is normal. The trick begins when the water disappears. As the moisture evaporates, the powder stays behind. It dries on the surface. It sticks to the insects and the areas where they are hiding. That is when the physical effect begins. So, do not judge this method while the leaves are still wet. The trick begins when the water disappears. Use it carefully. Do not spray in the hottest part of the day. Early morning or late afternoon is safer. If the plant is delicate, test a small area first. Do not coat the entire tree white. Do not spray open flowers full of pollinators. And if rain comes soon after, much of the powder may wash away. This is not a fantasy button. It is a physical method with physical limits. The oil band needs a clean root. The dry ring needs dry powder. The spray needs time to dry. When those conditions are right, the results can be strong, especially on early infestations. Now we need to talk about the 3 mistakes that make people say these methods do not work. The first mistake is spraying the leaves while leaving the trunk open. You see damage on the leaves, so you treat the leaves. But if insects can still climb the trunk all day, the pressure never stops. That is like mopping the floor while the pipe is still leaking. Always ask this question first. How are they getting there? If the trunk is open, close the trunk. If the ground is open, build the dry ring, then treat the leaves. That order matters. The second mistake is building a beautiful trunk barrier, then leaving a bridge beside it. A piece of grass, a low branch, a tomato cage touching the tree, a fence line, a weed, a support stake. Any of these can let insects bypass the trap. They only need one path. One blade of grass can become a bridge. So every time you check the oil band, check the area around it too. The trap is not just the band. The trap is the clean break in the root. The third mistake is using diatomaceous earth where it cannot stay dry. People sprinkle it, water the garden, then wonder why it did not work. But remember the rule: it is a dry barrier. If it is wet, buried, muddy, or washed away, it is not doing the same job. After heavy rain, refresh it. After irrigation, check it. If the ring is broken, repair it. If the powder is gone, replace it. A cheap method only stays powerful when the small details are respected. Now, put the whole system together. Barrier 1 is the oil band. It blocks the trunk. Barrier 2 is the dry ring. It protects the base. Barrier 3 is the water mixture. It reaches insects already hiding in the leaves, shoots, and soft growth. That is the full system. Not one trick. 3 layers. And the reason this works is that it stops you from chasing pests only after the damage appears. It makes you protect the tree before the next wave arrives. A fruit tree does not only need water and fertilizer, it needs a defended root, a clean trunk, and a protected base. Older gardeners understood this better than many. Modern gardeners do not. They watched movement. They watched the trunk. They watched the soil. They watched where the ants were going. They watched which leaves curled first. Once you see the root, you stop chasing the insects. You start closing the system. So before you spray your fruit tree again, look at the trunk. Look at the base. Look at the grass touching the bark. Look under leaves. Then build the barriers in the right order. Close the road. Protect the ground. Treat what is already there. That is how a cheap backyard system becomes stronger than another panic spray from the store. Before we wrap this up, one honest note: some visuals in this video are AI-assisted illustrations, and a few scenes are dramatized to make the garden system easier to see. But the materials, limits, and practical lessons are grounded in real gardening and home resilience principles. If insects are climbing one of your plants right now, write the plant name in the comments. Citrus, apple, peach, fig, tomato, pepper, or anything else. And write one word for the pest you are fighting. Ants, aphids, beetles, whiteflies, caterpillars, or soil pests, whichever one shows up most, is the next backyard defense system we rebuild. Because saving a fruit tree is not just about killing what you see today. It is about building a garden that gets harder to invade tomorrow.